I wish I had better news to share with you on that. There are studies out there from the ADA Health Policy Institute, the Dental Assisting National Board, and others that say over the next 5 years, we're going to lose a quarter of the dental assistants that we have in the industry right now. It's all about keeping the team members that you want to keep. And what does it take to do that? And it's not raises, it's not money. I mean, I think those are band-aids. We've rolled our eyes for a long time about culture and leadership and things along that line. And I think it's high time that really becomes a priority of the practice.
This is Dental All Stars, where we bring you the best in dentistry on marketing, management, and training.
Welcome to Dental All Stars. I'm Alex Nottingham, founder and CEO of Ulster Dental Academy. And with me is Kevin Henry. He's the editor-in-chief for drbicuspid.com and the founder of Dental Assistant Nation. And our topic is the future of dental assisting. Please welcome Kevin Henry.
Alex, thanks so much. It's good to see you again.
Such an easy name, Kevin Henry.
Yeah,
Henry, Kevin, whatever. Can't mess that one up.
Yeah, my girlfriend in high school, her dad always said he can't trust people with two first names. And
well, that's not your fault.
I know, but he made sure that was his point to get in on me. But anyway.
Oh, wow. You're a really nice guy. You've been in dentistry for quite some time. And obviously now with this great role at Dr. Bicuspid, one of the leading dental publishing companies in terms of great literature and educational material. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
So the future of dental assisting, you have a lot of experience in that. And maybe you can tell me a little bit, just a little background. I mean, many people know you, but for those who don't, how did you end up becoming the editor-in-chief at Dr. Bicuspid? And also the dental assisting has been a passion for some time. How did those kind of weave together?
So it all goes back to when I was the managing editor for Dental Economics.
Economics, another big.
Yeah, way back in the day. That's where I first came into this industry. I was actually in sports journalism and in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I was born and raised, and needed a job. And the managing editor position of Dental Economics came on board, and luckily they trusted a guy. They needed somebody who was a journalist to balance out Dr. Joe Blaze, who was the dentist editor at the time. And so the two of us became yin and yang, and very blessed with that. But about 6 years into my role there at Dental Economics, I noticed that we had things for dentists in Dental Economics, and we had things for the hygienist with RDH magazine, which is their sister publication, but there was nothing there for assistants. And the more I looked around, the more I saw that there was a need for educating the assistants and making sure that they felt empowered and clicked in as part of the team. And so I started a publication called Dental Assisting Digest back in 2005, which had a good run until I think last year. But it was a great time. And from that, the Oregon Dental Association needed a dental assisting speaker, asked me to come out, and that started my speaking journey to dental assistants as well.
It's so cool, the stories, right? So you're a sports journalist and then end up dental and then dental assisting. My background is law and MBA, but my dad's a dentist, right? I was working for Tony Robbins. My plan wasn't to get into dentistry, but for those who know my story, my father's business was in trouble. I took that over. We were able to be very successful with it. My wife came in from retail, and we brought a retail customer service mindset, and hence Ulster Dental Academy as the brainchild of that. So funny how life takes you around to different places. So
the paths are interesting for sure.
And speaking of things moving around, AI technology is huge with respect to dentistry. And so we're seeing all these innovations. Tell me about dental assisting. And I have a very simple question and note. This all I have is tech AI, no planned questions. You're going to educate us and the listeners what is going on in dental, in assisting when it comes to AI, technology, others. What's the future now and what you see it later to become for dental assistant?
I think for dental assistants, I think so much of it is going to be based in some of the things that they're already doing, but they're going to need to ramp up their game. And that is the patient communication, the explanation, the answering of questions when the doctor leaves the room, and trying to really drill down, and no pun intended, but trying to drill down to what are the patient's basic needs and what don't they understand. One thing that I have learned through my 20 plus years of doing this is that the dental assistant is so important in closing the case and really answering those questions that need to be answered before the patient even thinks about cost, scheduling, anything along that line. And so I think what we're seeing with AI now is all these wonderful images that explain things, but there's still the whole, you've got to carry it across the bridge. And the dental assistants that I talk to, that's the biggest thing that they're prepping for right now is they want to learn everything they can about the Pearls, the Overjets, all of the AI companies that are out there. But it also is making them want to ramp up their communication skills as well, so that they can not only talk about what AI brings, but also going back to the very basics of closing that case and making sure patients understand what's best for them.
That makes a lot of sense. We just had Overjet at our event in Austin, when they're one of our sponsors, and it's really cool what that and other AI tools do. And I like what you said. You made a great point. Is using that, not looking at okay, this is a replacement, no,
Right.
but it is, and also being careful. And this is happening even before some of that we call AI, although it had AI in it, like autoresponders and email reminders and things like that. But not to rely completely on them. We still use them, but you have to translate. So you're saying we're able to use it as a better tool to explain, not that, hey, this does it for you. You need to be able to have the verbal skills to be able to support them to do that.
And whenever I was over in Cologne, Germany at the International Dental Show back in March, one of the biggest questions that I heard so often when AI came up from Europeans and others all over the world was, is this going to replace the doctor actually doing the diagnosis? Or will today's doctors, or this next generation coming in, will they rely too much on AI? And that was a big talking point. And I think, as you said, it's a tool, and we need to remember that. But I also think that whenever we're bringing new tools into the practice, and this has been the same for CAD CAM, for lasers, for anything else that you can think technology-wise, we have to make sure that the team is up to speed with not only what it means for their job, but also how the talking points that they need to be sharing with patients whenever doctors, you're not in the room. And I think that that's one thing that I've heard from so many dental assistants is, I'm excited about technology, but I want to make sure that I'm able to articulate it as well as it needs to be.
That makes sense. And so good stuff. Good stuff, Kevin. What else do you, when you think about the future of dental assisting, so what other things are out there? What other, let me ask you this though, too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it again, just a curveball.
Sure.
So we have a hiring service, right? And assistants and hygienists are one of the biggest requests. Hygienists being the most difficult to hire. Okay. And actually, we're doing some promotions with Dr. Bicuspid for the hiring service. And we're like, oh, we're so busy as it is. And now you're sending us more business. It's like, it's too much. And the ads look so good. You're really professional what you're doing on there. So anybody that are looking to advertise. So with hiring issues, what do you, I had Rachel Wall. I know you know her well. She is wonderful when it comes to telling me about the future of the state of hygiene.
Yeah.
What is the state of dental assistant? What do you see with the hiring issues and so on that dental assistants struggle with? It's not as bad as hygiene, but it's still more difficult in the front office for sure.
It is. And I think that one of the things that is coming, as my grandpa used to say, home to roost, is the fact that, there was a long period of time where I think dental assistants were looked at as the bottom rung of the ladder, a dime a dozen, all the things that I've heard. And it's okay to admit that those were said, but it's also something that now we know that that's not necessarily the case. So we have to get to the point where, how do dental assistants not feel that way about themselves? How do they truly feel like they're part of the team? They're empowered to take the next step, that they're really encouraged to do everything they can legally under whatever state that you're in, under that dental requirements and laws. I think that that's the biggest thing that I hear from dental assistants right now is that if they're not happy where they are, and if they don't feel like that they really fit there, they're looking. And I'd be point blank with that is that there was a time when the dentists really had the power in terms of the hiring and all of that. That has changed completely, where dental assistants now understand completely that they can go to another practice that maybe they may be a better fit for. And so I think we've rolled our eyes for a long time about culture and leadership and things along that line. And I think it's high time that really becomes a priority of the practice.
You know, a lot of this happened certainly after COVID.
Mhm.
So after COVID, there was a big high, it was easy to hire, and then it dropped off quickly because what people, and at first there's complaints, oh, people are lazy, don't really want to work, whatever. But it isn't just a mass resignation, but people are saying, I'm home, I have a life, I have one life that I'm aware of, and do I want to be in a dental office that I'm not treated well, that I'm not getting my needs met necessarily, or do I want to do something else or whatever? And so I think we, like you said, we got to be able to give a voice to that and say that we'd like to have you back, and that your needs are going to go beyond you're just a worker.
Yeah.
Years ago, like my parents, your parents, it was like you just go to work and you just do a job, and there's no I need to be coddled and all that. And then but I don't put that down, because at the end, when you're 80, God willing, whatever, and you look back and you go, what life did I live? I worked a lot. You don't regret saying, I wish I worked more.
Yeah.
And so I think that we did an event, our last event just a few weeks ago. I was speaking about Tony Robbins' 6 human needs. All right. So one of them is certainty, that we get our paycheck. That's pretty much all you got in office, certainty, you got a paycheck. But did you get variety, something different, something new? Did you get significance, being acknowledged for what you did? Did you get connection, right? Love and belonging. Did you get growth? And if you, as a dental practice, and this isn't new to you, Kevin, because this is what you consult on and what you see in the high performing practices, but others don't imbue what they do with this. So if you mentioned leadership, that's part of it, right? That's part of this idea that I want people to come to our office and have a great experience. And who were the ones that were doing this before it was cool? It was Google. It was Amazon.
Yep.
They give you free babysitting, meals. They do whatever they can to keep you lots of money, stock options. They're throwing things at you that you have a great life, that you want to come to work, so they can attract the best talent. And so dentists that are listening, how are you making it compelling for the dental assistant, the hygienist, your admin, your director of first impressions to be able to come there and make a life, essentially?
It's such a good point. And I know so many dental practices do end of the year parties. They do all these different things throughout the year to really try to ramp up the culture of the practice. But I will tell you, the more that I talk to dental assistants, the more that they tell me that those things are nice. But at the end of the day, it's about every day. It's not the special events, but it's about a random Thursday in July. And what is the culture of the practice like? Is there a low amount of stress? Do they feel appreciated? Do they feel like they can leave on time, take a bathroom break? You know, I mean, little things like that we kind of may laugh off. It's so important to the dental assistant that they know they can get out on time and that they don't take the stress of the day home with them as well.
That's right. And the dentists, who are the ones who could create the environment, have to think about that and have empathy and compassion. And if you do that, then you have a higher degree of not just attracting the talent, but keeping the talent. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think that that's something that you've got to think about is today it's all about keeping the team members that you want to keep. And what does it take to do that? And it's not raises, it's not money. I mean, I think those are band-aids so often in things. I think it is really all about, do people love where they work? And if they don't, why? And the answer is true.
That's true. And really money is, we need the money for sure. I think money is not just a certainty need, but also acknowledgement, a significance that I earned it. And so it's finding ways to address that. What do you see in terms of the supply of dental assistants? Are dental assisting schools doing a good job of that? What do you see in dentistry? Will that be fixed
So,
eventually or what?
You know, to be honest, I wish I had better news to share with you on that. You know, there are studies out there from the ADA Health Policy Institute, the Dental Assisting National Board, and others that say over the next 5 years, we're going to lose a quarter of the dental assistants that we have in the industry right now. Now, think about that for just a second, because there are statistics that say we have more than 300,000 dental assistants. If we're getting ready to lose a quarter of them because of aging out or whatever that might be, and that next generation isn't coming in, I think it's going to get worse. And I'm not doing that to sound alarm bells or anything else, but I'm doing that as really, this is the time that you figure out how you keep those dental assistants that are going to have long careers, or you hope they're going to have long careers, that you keep them by your side. You keep them as a part of your team. And you know, you mentioned dental assisting schools. That was one of the biggest impacts of of COVID on dental assisting, was that so many CODA accredited dental schools shut down and didn't reopen. And there's a lot of information out there from the American Dental Education Association that shows it's just a nosedive as far as accredited dental assistants that are coming out of regular education that we may have seen 10, 20 years ago. So many more dental assistants today are on the job trained. And I think that we've got to realize that shift that's happening as well. And in those that are being on the job trained, are they really being trained in the right way also?
Now I'm sad.
I'm sorry, didn't read the rain cloud here, but
So tell me, Kevin, what do you see that's being done right? Give me some examples of what are offices doing, what are dental assistants doing, what's out there, since you know all things dental assisting.
well, I think training programs and having the right one is an important one.
Like what, like Ulster Dental Academy?
You know, let's just put in a plug.
You heard of them?
Seriously. I will tell you, one of the biggest mistakes that I see when it comes to dental assistants right now is that you turn over the training to the other dental assistant who is there and you say, teach her how you do your job. And that's what it is. And there's so much that happens with this delusion of knowledge between what that person who is doing the training originally learned and what that person is actually teaching the next person. It's mind-boggling. And so I think to know that you're getting the correct training, and yeah, plug, absolutely. But I think to have that in place where you know what is being taught is factual and accurate, and that it's keeping the patient's safety priority, I think that is more important than ever.
Yeah, it's interesting when you say that. Well, you'll hold me to it, but just give me some time. But by the end of this year, our goal is, so we have a pretty comprehensive program. We are going to be launching another series of training courses that are included with our online training that are meant for the specific position onboarding.
Yes.
So what we teach are skill sets, phone skills, rapport, case acceptance. Everybody goes on to learn. But how do you onboard? And even when you already currently have a assistant or a hygienist, how do you remind them of the best practices of getting them up to speed? Now, we're not going to be training them how to do clinical,
Right.
but from the admin perspective, basically our COO, who was a great office manager and is also an executive coach for us, she had to onboard each position. So she spent a year putting together a program that is done. It has to be edited and somebody's got to do it. And what it does is it brings you through step by step the right way to do it. Now, obviously everybody has their way, but what are the areas that I should be aware of as an assistant, as a hygienist? And so, like you said, if you're just following someone who may not be doing it right, because look, most dental assistants, they're not there to be trainers. They're there to do their job.
That's it.
And then you're saying, just teach them. I don't know. You throw them into the fire. When my wife came to dentistry, she had no experience and nobody taught her anything, just especially for front office. Is just pick up the phone. And she had to go through the retail where she was trained at Bloomingdale's and use some of that.
Yep.
So it's so haphazard.
It is. And one of the things that is absolutely, communication training is important, but I will implore as well, you know, let's make sure we're doing the right infection control training. Let's make sure that we're keeping our patients safe. You know, there are a lot of well, there are states out there that current legislation is going on to lower the number of infection control courses that you have to take before you actually can become an assistant. And so they're relying on the practice to teach them that. And I think that that's a worry whenever I'm a dental patient. Taking off my dentistry hat, if I'm walking in, I want to know that I'm safe, my mom's safe, my daughter's safe. So I think that that is a critical thing right now that we have to consider whenever it comes to training is, are we doing it the right way?
And again, I was speaking to the dentist here because the assistants are going to listen and this is good and they're going to enjoy it. The dentists are always the ones that are in trouble with me, all right? Because they're the ones that are responsible. And with respect to this issue is, look, many of them just came into dentistry because they want the clinical. And there's plenty of great clinical stuff out there. I mean, we're member benefits with the AGD, AACD. We're doing an AGD event in September, which is exciting for case acceptance. But the dentists, for better or worse, just bite the bullet and understand that if you want to have a successful dental career as a business owner, it's getting, like what I'm listening to you, it's the all-star type training, which is consulting, coaching type services and patient experience, but also what you said, Kevin, it's the OSHA issues, it's the HIPAA issues, it's making sure that you are up to speed, or you have consultants or organizations like a friend of mine that's a dentist, Lauren Levine, is great at making sure your backup systems are set up and all that. So it's just, you have to be a business owner as well. And being a business owner, running a dental business, is not just the clinical production. It's training, it's people development, it's protecting from lawsuits and hurting people. And so there's a lot of areas, but it doesn't have to happen overnight. I'm just imploring all of you to make a lifelong commitment. I mean, those who are listening aren't the ones I have to yell at because they're listening to a podcast to learn, but that they are doing that as well. Very important.
And I want to emphasize the point that you made just a moment ago. It's that if you turn the training over to the other person in the practice, you're really loading them up with more than they're equipped to handle, as well as their normal day-to-day duties as well. And I think whenever burnout is such a thing right now in dentistry, that we have to be cognizant of, we can't just say, this is your job now as well. Because I think if you're not careful, you're going to lose that dental assistant as well. And I've heard plenty of stories of that happening.
I love what you just said. Often our best people, we give the crappiest stuff for them to do.
Yep.
Fill in a broken appointment, fix the stuff when somebody didn't show up. You have to clip their mess, train the new person, interview everybody. Now, if they want to do it, great. Some people like Shelly, our COO, like I can't stop her from running the company. She loves it. She's one of those office managers that just takes it, and she's a sweetheart. But like, I get out of her way. I don't tell her to do her job. Like, she does it better than me. She runs this company better than I do. So she's the boss. I told her from day one. And now after 2 years, she accepts it, but makes a funny face about it. But the point is, most people don't want to take the burden and don't put it on them, unless they want to do that. So I love what you said, because that's the fastest way. Typically our best people, we put the stuff on,
Right.
We don't. And so there's ways, again, get help, get support, and motivate, inspire people. And if they want to do it, they will do it with respect to that. So I love what I'm hearing, Kevin. Let me ask you this. Yeah, give me resources. Our dentists love resources. Give me some Dr. Bicuspid resources. Give me some Dental Assistant Nation resources.
Absolutely.
Where can I go to get more about all things that are Kevin Henry and the stuff that you have your fingers in?
Well, if you want to know kind of what dental assistants are thinking right now, absolutely. I have a weekly podcast, Dental Assistant Nation, that comes out every Monday, where I tap into what dental assistants are saying. 15 minutes of content, and you can find that all at dentalassistantnation.com. And absolutely, I implore you, love for you to be a free subscriber to drbycuspid.com. We put out a newsletter every day at 3:30 Eastern time, and would love to have you be a part of that, because we're talking about a lot of things that we're talking about today. Because, Alex, you're traveling, I'm traveling, we're hearing this from the people that we're interacting with. So we're trying to give out, as you said, those resources to help them deal with it.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much. It's been way too long. Could I have you back sooner? But thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Great to see you, and thanks for taking the time to talk about dental assistants. I appreciate that.
I know you're passionate about it. So remember to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Get the episodes as they are released. Make sure you hit that follow, subscribe button. It's important. It helps our ranking too. Share with your friends. And until next time, go out there and be an all-star.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Dental All Stars. Visit us online at allstardentalacademy.com.